We've got a lot to talk about today. We'll get to this, we'll get to the patch, but before we get into that, I need to talk about something a bit more serious. Now, my wife will say I'm oversharing when I record this video, so she doesn't know that I'm recording it. I've been going through some issues recently. You guys will be aware, if you've watched recent videos, that I was having memory problems. And as typical rabbit holes go, you get wound up and you think, hey, I might have something. So anyway, I spoke to my doctor about it. She sent me off to a specialist. It was a neurologist. I was worried, hey, you might have early onset dementia. I had issues with memory. I had issues with things that I should be retaining that are just not there, like recalling names or what's for dinner, these small things, and conversations in the past that I'd had with people that I had no recollection of. But I went back and I checked and, oh my God, there's the conversation. I just had no recollection of it. I thought I might have early onset dementia or early onset Alzheimer's. Good news, I don't. Bad news, I've got something else, but good news, it can be treated, and I'm treating it right now. I always knew there's something wrong with me. I'm a bit autistic, I'm a bit weird. I've got the ability to hyper-focus on something and study it so intrinsically, and then just drop it. And I can't explain why. And it turns out ADHD. Now, I'm sure many of you will look at me and be like, yo, of course you've got ADHD. Yeah, I know, but it's, right, Anyway, you know, I've gone through, and you may see behind me right over there, there's a big thing. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. Let me show you. Number 1, Wallalol. Nice. Number 2, Wallalol. Nice. Number 3, Age of Empires 3. Look at that. This is the original Age of Empires. Nice. Interesting thing to note with this hard copy, this is the original Age of Empires 3 copy that I was playing with back when it originally came out. It's got 3 CDs in it, right? Well, it should. This one doesn't. You want to know why? It doesn't have 3 CDs? Because one of the CDs got snapped in half. Now, you might be wondering, why would you snap a CD in half, Drongo? Well, I was trying to make a point to my mum. You see, my mum was mad that I wasn't really focused on school and that I was spending a little bit too much time playing Age of Empires. So the first CD, that's the CD that you needed to actually put into the computer. I snapped it in half. And it was very bold. And, oh, you don't want me to play Age of Empires? Fine. Snap. And, well... 15 minutes later, I downloaded a crack and I was able to play without a CD. I logged straight back in. Everything was fine. The boys were worried where I'd been. Nice. I've got school reports. They say some good things in here, like, Drongo is an intelligent student who is wasting his talent. Nice. Drongo appears to be preoccupied, and as a result, his work is well below his potential. Nice. Drongo has had a very disappointing semester because he was not prepared to put the effort required into this subject. Nice. Now, high school didn't go that well for me, but eventually I kind of got around to doing university and eventually graduated. But looking back on my life, I can see at every single point that I have failed, it is not because of a lack of intellect or decision making. It was purely a lack of effort. And not because I didn't recognize that effort was required, but just because I couldn't do, I couldn't do it. Let me explain. One of the things that ADHD does is it makes you more prone to burnout. I don't know exactly why that is, but it's only now that I've been diagnosed that I look back on those situations and go, holy shit, I was burnt out. I've been burnt out once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I'm not kidding you. 5 separate times I can actually count that were burnt out. I had a previous business, right? Business was doing great. And at some point, I just had enough. I stopped answering the phone. I stopped taking new clients. I literally did the absolute bare minimum. And I got to the point where I didn't want to think about it. I felt like I had trauma if I thought about it. So I just did everything I could just to not think about it. Another example is a time where I was on deployment, and I'm probably oversharing here once again, but we basically were just told to do nothing. Imagine if you're told, hey, you need to rock up and you just do nothing. And that's all you could do. And my brain is literally just fizzling and going crazy. And I went to my director and I'm like, hey, look, you got to send me home. I can't do this. I genuinely can't do this. I don't know what was wrong with me, but looking back on it, it was probably ADHD. We'd just been doing nothing for too long. And yeah, anyway. So with ADHD, the way that it works is, at least for me, I can hyper-focus on something that I am enjoying. Okay, I can spend 20 hours a day doing something as long as I'm enjoying it. And as soon as I find it even just a little bit mundane, I lose all interest and I just want to put my head in the sand. I don't ever want to look at it again. It happens. I used to joke, I have a fear of paperwork. I'm not kidding you. In my 20s, I would tell people, like, I have a fear of paperwork, my taxes, bills, anything like that. I try and automate as much as possible because I know I'm not going to be doing it. And it's gotten to the point recently where I had a list of things that I needed to do, and it just doesn't get done. It's just like there's like this overwhelming inability of a brain that's got ADHD to do things that it finds mundane, or things that even if you know that you need to do it. So I guess in summary, these things are not normal, right? Like, if you want to do something, you should be able to do it. Your brain should say, okay, let's do that, right? So as an example, if I want to pay a bill, the ADHD brain says, okay, when's the due date? And then you look at the due date and you're like, I'll put it off to then. It goes in the pile. And then it gets to the due date and you look at it and you're like, okay, but what are they really going to do? Like, you know, I could pay it right now, but then I'd have to load up my computer. I'd have to log in. I'd have to do it. And that's how the ADHD brain thinks. You've got money in your account. You've got no problem paying it, but they're not really going to turn off your electricity for 4 weeks? So you can get away with it. Eventually, for me, my wife will always swoop in and she'll be like, hey, what the hell are you doing with this pile of paperwork over here? We got to get through this. And, you know, some of it gets sorted to urgent and some of them, it doesn't get sorted to urgent. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is this isn't normal. And if you're experiencing symptoms like this, I encourage you, go speak to your doctor, man. Like, if you want to do something in life, you should just be able to do it. There shouldn't be anything preventing your brain from doing it, right? If you're thinking, hey, I've got to, I want to go out and have a bike ride, your brain should just be like, okay, let's go do that bike ride, because it's going to release dopamine when you go and do that thing. And that's the trouble with the ADHD brain. It has trouble receiving the dopamine. I don't know exactly how it works. All I know is the medication that I've got has changed my life. Like, so much to the point where I literally had a breakdown and I messaged my wife and I'm like, hey, I felt it. Like, I felt the good feeling. Like, I crossed something off my list and I didn't just feel relief. Because that's all it's been. All my life, it's just been relief. Whenever I do something, whenever I get something done, it's relief. And it wasn't just relief. It was like this, like, I wanted to do it again. Like, and anyway, I went through the list. I did everything on the list. I did literally everything. I did so much stuff that I couldn't even imagine myself doing. And it was on the list and I just checked it all off. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, if you have trouble doing things, speak to your doctor, because it's not normal. You should be able to do things, especially things that you know that you need to do. That's it. That's pretty much it. Nice. Let's get into the patch notes. Something a little bit brighter, something a little bit happier. Let's do it. All right. Hold on a minute. I gotta press some buttons down here. Did that work? I think that worked. All right. Wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the video off correctly. G'day, fellas. Welcome to a patch note review. Now, I feel like this patch was for me. I literally said to the boys behind the scenes, I'm like, yo, I need to start going on hiatus more if it means that we're going to be getting patches like this. Ladies and gentlemen, they're extending Ranked Season 12 and the Something in the Water event from April 2nd to May 6th. These changes will be reflected in game soon, but they wanted to give us a early heads up. Lovely. Something in the Water, improvement to map monsters. We don't care. But we care about this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Build Spotlight Caster Mode. Now, let's talk about caster mode. When Age of Empires 4 first came out, okay, hold on, I'm going back to full screen right here. Okay, when Age of Empires 4 first came out, right, okay, they had this bare bones caster mode. And I remember thinking, right, they were asking for feedback on it. Not the caster mode, just Age of Empires 4 in general. I didn't even give feedback on the caster mode simply because it was so basic and bare bones and shit that I'm like, obviously this is placeholder. Like, there's no way they're going live with this. Anyway, they went live with it, and it wasn't until like a year later when Nilly was running his tournament, N4C, that we actually got the caster mode itself. So now that's essentially what we're using. It's had a couple of updates since then, but we really don't get big ones. They're like minor ones, like, hey, now the Japanese can finally show this, or something like that. This, hopefully, it's starting to flesh it out a little bit more. Caster mode. With this patch, we are introducing some changes to caster mode that account for a variety of civilization-specific technologies and elements. With these changes, caster mode will provide a better top-level view of details pertaining to the Guild Hall, the Tughlag Dynasty's governor system, Khan and Joan of Arc respawn timers, the Yatai counts, traders, fishing ships, and sheep. Okay, we've got a screenshot. Now, I'm actually running this offline at the moment. I don't know if I can do this. Right click. I'm going to copy image link. We're going to go over here. We're going to post this bad boy in. Lovely. Okay, we can see everything. So, all of a sudden, bottom left-hand corner, we've got sheep. Amazing. We've also got... Okay, what is going on right here? We've got worker kills, 0-0. Army value, 255 versus 4865. Destroyed value. Is that resources collected? Oh, shut the front door. It is. It is too. That's resources collected. We can now see how many resources they've collected. We've got idle time. So that's idle time for the TC, I'm assuming? Or, no, it could be for the villagers. No, is that for the villagers? I don't know if that's TC. Anyway, and then we've got effective worker total? Maybe, hold on, let's go back here. Let's go back. Just give me a second. All right. Okay, so let's keep moving through this because this is pretty big. We've got AI outrageous against Mr. Ohani. We've got more screenshots. We will go back into it. I want to read more about what they've got, though. Additional design improvements. So previously, casters, that's me, had to toggle between villages and resource per minute details, making it difficult to quickly ascertain various player advantages. Now these details are available simultaneously and visible underneath the general resources panel. So if we go back over here, oh shit. Oh, damn. It looks a little bit cramped now. I will say that. But at the same time, you're in this awkward spot, right? In the sense that it needs to be visible. Like, they need to have visibility on it, but they don't want to be taking up the whole screen. So that was always the issue that we had. Is like, where do we put this information? Like, it needs to be big enough that we can read it, but it needs to be small enough that it's not intruding on our screen. So I think this is a decent middle ground. It's not too bad. There's like padding around the edges is good. But yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we wanted, right? Like now we don't have now I don't have to forget at every 10 to 15 minute mark to not do that. So that's another great change. So once again, devs just, doing a wonderful job here. Let's switch on back. Okay, so Macedonian Dynasty's technology, such as the cavalry damage upgrade, now show in caster mode. So yeah, we can see it over here. In this top little corner, lovely. Additional information has been added to the overview statistics in the caster mode view, including town center idle time. Okay, so it is town center idle time. So you're telling me, like, here, it's been idle for 17 minutes? Is that what we're seeing? Copy image link. Let's chuck it over here. So, if I make that... I'm trying to make it full screen. Okay, there we go. So, we've got... 17 minutes of idle time, 45 minutes of idle time. I'm assuming that that's what that is. Anyway, so we've got that. So it's town center idle time, economy idle time, and total resources collected and destroyed values. Economy idle time, total resources, and... Okay, so town center idle time. So that's the bottom one. Economic idle time. Is this like the effective worker time? So the workers are being effective 96.2% of the time. I'm assuming that that's what that is. Improved resources gathered information in caster mode with a new collected resources panel that showcases the total gathered resources for each player alongside updated UI to show the total amount of traders, fishing ships, and sheep for players, or for each player. Resources collected. Look at this. I mean, let's make it bigger so that we can do it. And for anyone wondering, yeah, we're doing this offline at the moment just because my main PC, it's still, I'm actually disconnected from the internet. You can't actually see it over here. But yeah, we're doing this all offline just because another game that I'm playing at the moment, Civilization, they've got a... I shouldn't get into it. Anyway, don't worry. That's why we're offline. Okay, so I don't notice anything in here about the villager counts or the sheep. I mean, we saw the sheep earlier. Like, there's the sheep over here. Oh, I think we're clicking buttons, aren't we? We've got to be clicking buttons. That's the only way I think it's happening. Caster mode now reflects changes made to reduce the number of upgrades available for the Mongols' improved economy technology. So we've also got other changes in here for... There's the Japanese, there's the Mongols. So... Okay, yeah, because remember before it had like the little dots on here? So once again, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so you lads can see. So it used to have the dots over here, but they didn't mean anything. Okay, that's wonderful. And then we've got, of course, Civilization balance and bug fixes. Golden Horde fixed an exploit where it was possible to increase the Golden Horde batch size higher than intended. Of course, that has now been fixed up. So all of those people that got short little suspensions, well, you won't be able to do that anymore. Look, so overall, this is incredible, right? I'm super happy for this. Before we get that though, let's go to ongoing. We've had some additional improvements coming to caster mode, specifically related to more easily accessible information for emergency repairs. Your reports continue being crucial to our prioritization and implementation of fixes. What's on the horizon? We'll be sharing more news about our Spring 2026 DLC very soon, and don't forget to tune in for Red Bull Londoninium. The main event is happening April 1st to the 6th, so you got about a month before we get to it to see who's crowned the winner in both Age of Empires 4 and Age of Empires 2. All right, so that's what we've got for the moment. So, look, with regard to the new caster mode, I mean, I'm excited. I'm incredibly excited. There's improvements to this mode are really important for me because obviously for me, this is like the bulk of what we do, right? We cast games. We take a look at what top level players are doing, whether it's interesting, whether it's a bit weird like Faye, and we try to understand it. And this is, I just realized actually, you know, I completely missed this in the first time that we were doing it, but have a look over here. The top right-hand corner over on this little spot, we've got all of the House of Wisdom. We've got all of the Tughlag and their governors over here in the top right. So this is super cool. I wonder how this actually plays out. Anyway, we'll check in with that eventually. But I mean, yeah, for me this is really important. And I guess the way I've always seen Age of Empires, most games, but especially Age of Empires because it's a strategy game, it's a bit more niche, is that it's an ecosystem in the sense that for me as a YouTuber, I'm contributing to the ecosystem. When I post a video, you guys are going to be watching it, right? And other people who might be searching for Age of Empires 4 will search for that video, they'll find that video, and then that might help keep them in the ecosystem a little bit longer when they play a game. Because for me, at the end of the day, it's about the health of the game. If there's people playing the game, that's always going to be a good thing. It means that you're going to be able to find games faster. It means that you're going to have more competitive games. These are really, really important when it comes to playing Age of Empires. And one of the ways that we retain players, at least in my mind, player retention, comes down to things, other sources where they can do it, right? If you're at work, you can't play a game of Age of Empires, but you can watch a game of Age of Empires, and that's one of the things that keeps you interested. So if I'm not posting and you're at work and you know you don't see a game of Age of Empires 4, it makes you less likely to go home and play Age of Empires. It might only be by a small amount, but it's still an amount. And so it's one of those things where it's so important for us as casters to make sure that we're always casting games so that not only are you able to see like what's going on at the top level with regard to the meta, what are the silly things that they're doing, what are the crazy games that we're getting, but also to just constantly be there so that in the event that you do want to watch it, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to sit down and watch that game. And by enhancing caster mode, it allows us to enhance the stories that we tell. It makes it more engaging for viewers as well. And so I think it's really important. And I'm super thankful that the devs have actually done this. I just realized that they're showing off all their little things right here. Over here on the right-hand side, we can see the guild hall and the amount that it's got in there. So that's very nice to see. And we've also got the Yadai count that's over here on the left. So I don't think we're really paying close attention to that. But yeah, for me, it's so important to have a really strong caster mode because I guess as a caster, I see casting as kind of like the backbone, at least to content, right? When you think about tournaments, when you think about YouTube, for me, that's predominantly what I am consuming. I'm watching other casters' content as well. So yeah, look, I think this is great. I think they also mentioned that they want to add in more stuff as well down here. Yeah, upcoming additional improvements coming to caster mode specifically related to more accessibility information for emergency repairs. So look, the fact that they're doing this, I love it. And it doesn't take a huge investment. I guess that's the other thing to remember, right? Like compared to the amount that they're investing for a new civilization, it is so small the amount that they've got to do this, right? Like this has already been done, the majority of this stuff by Cow in the community, and he's done it for free. And you know, he's been able to put it all together. So I don't know whether or not they've borrowed from him. I mean, they probably would have taken a little bit of inspiration from him and from the stuff that he's done, like the cow counter, or rather the sheep counter, the cow sheep counter. Let's go with that. So yeah, overall though, it's looking great. It's looking wonderful. With regard to this channel, there's no change in relation to the content that's going to be on it. It's still going to be Age of Empires 4 content. I can say that right now. Hopefully, now that I'm taking medication, I should find it easier for myself to post videos. Because that was one of the big issues that I've got. As I said earlier, if I lose interest in something, and that's not to say that I'm not interested in Age of Empires 4. I am interested in Age of Empires 4, but if I've got something that's more dominant, like you may actually see if I do the tab, you'll see right over here, we've got like Satisfactory Tools and Satisfactory like interactive map. Bro, I've been playing so much Satisfactory, and it's just like, I guess that's just the way that like the autism ADHD combo works. I just got super hyper focused on Satisfactory. It's like, I know I shouldn't be playing Satisfactory, but I gotta make it better. Anyway, we move on. We move forward. I'll catch you guys in the next one. You'll see some content up shortly. I can promise you that. Thank you for watching.